We've gathered Justin and his friends to blind taste test the 5 chicken tender brands that we could get our hands on and see which ones meet their standards. Great Value Famous Chicken Fingers.
Hi, my name is Justin Biro, and I am a chef with Eastern European heritage.
Hello, my name is Antoine. I am a French chef, and I am ready to taste chicken tenders.
I'm Luke. I'm a chicken farmer. I know a thing or two about chickens.
Alright, hello, I am Jonathan, and I'm going to be giving you a brief review of my favorite chicken nugget and my least favorite. First up is my favorite, because I don't like doing my least favorite first.
Visually, my first impression was that it was not the most appealing. I was imagining an ideal chicken tender having more texture, and this doesn't seem to have a ton of texture. Also, the color of it varies throughout. It seems to have some lighter spots and then some darker spots, as you can tell.
At first glance, the look looks like a fish stick more than a chicken tender. I think with a chicken tender, you want either very crunchy or you want thin but textured. This is somewhere in between, and it looks, I don't know, wet and not appetizing. But we give it a try, and the chicken actually tastes okay. It's juicy, and so good texture to the chicken. The bread tastes not much better than it looks. It has a paper taste, like good paper, but still like paper. Not very nice, and the texture is no good as well.
It's really good. It kind of tastes like Dino Nuggets, like the ones that you get at Costco and Aldi.
If I had to guess, I think this chicken tender has been sitting out on this plate for about 4 days.
When I took a bite, I was impressed because it was juicy and it seemed well salted and the flavor was on point. It also seemed to be a good quality chicken, like real chicken, one uniform piece, maybe chicken breast.
I really want a crispy outside and a juicy inside. This one gave me a juicy outside and a crispy inside. Not what you want.
I think that because the flavor was so good, the texture didn't bother me.
So if I had to guess what chicken this is, I would guess this is the Members Mark chicken from Sam's Club.
If I were to guess the brand, I'd probably say it's Purdue, but I could be wrong.
I think I would say Dollar Tree, just looking at the color of it.
Wow, great value.
Wow, close,
Not
great
far.
value.
It looks much more crunchier on the picture though, and browner.
Applegate Naturals gluten-free chicken breast tenders.
Hey, my name's Le'e Makai. I'm a level 7 Dragon Slayer chef.
So I tried this chicken, and let me tell you, it has got some flavor. It's even got the black specklies in it to tell me that they clearly spent some time in the kitchen trying to find the best spices to add to this.
This one smells like an onion. It kind of reminds me of the lair of Lava Muck and Rathmore when we were seeking dragons to slay that were terrorizing the village. Their lair smelled a lot like onions, and so that reminded me of that, which wasn't really a very pleasant experience.
One thing I appreciate about it is that it is a irregular shape. It's not the state of North Carolina. I think, I could have seen pulling this straight off my chicken. Like, it looks like a chicken wing, even though it's tender.
Flavor is great. The crunch, fantastic. I actually really like this nugget. It is delicious.
The cross section of it, I don't want to break this one open, but it was really nice, very moist, and the crust is much like the shield of Arendelle, which was really useful in that same situation where we were in the lair.
The color is a little light, but I think I can stand with that. The only thing it's missing, this might be important, I couldn't taste the chicken.
One thing I did not like about it was that it had a starchiness, like maybe between the batter and the chicken. Maybe it was trying to adhere itself to it, but it felt like a cat just like scratching your throat. It would not come out.
really good, quite possibly my favorite. It reminded me of a great time, great mission, slaying dragons, and that was my favorite thing about it.
My guess, with the good flavor, the great crunch, very satisfying, although missing the chicken, Tyson.
This one is definitely gotta be Applegate Farms.
I'm not sure if Target has a brand, but Target chicken tender. Ah, Applegate.
Applegate!
Applegate.
Gluten
One word
free! It must be gluten free. Tastes so good.
Perdue whole grain chicken breast strips.
This is a third chicken tender, and at first glance it looks very promising. I think it has, it's a thinner piece, but it looks like there's some meaty chicken, and also the breadcrumb looks very crunchy. And so the color maybe a little darker than I would like, but not too bad. It would be okay.
Visually, it looks great. It has the texture that I was expecting in an ideal chicken tender. And the breading is consistent throughout. It has a crunchiness factor. You can tell that when you take a bite, there'll be some texture and crunchiness to it.
Just on first sight, the length of it reminded me of the neck of Barad-dûr, which was another dragon that we were slaying in a different land. This was the land of Lemoy.
I also think that the color is exceptional. It is a nice brown, but not too brown. It's not too light, so it has good balance there.
And yeah, that one, not my favorite mission to go on. There was a lot of discussion about whether or not we brought enough torches and whose fault it was. This one, as far as the chicken tender itself, I think mostly tasted a little too crunchy.
So after I try it, I find it a little disappointing. I think the chicken is okay, but the breadcrumb is too soft. And so I don't know if the cook was poor or maybe it's just they had no chance. But it's too soft for me. There's no crunch. And so I did not like it. The flavor was okay. If I had to guess the ingredients, maybe, chicken and bread, maybe some red six. I'm not sure.
I did taste the pepper flakes, and I thought that was a little bit, not necessarily spicy, but it added another depth of flavor. Some of my co-chefs might think it's a bit spicy.
Which I guess in turn made the breading kind of dry, kind of like the relations were between our team. Nobody was really feeling it on that mission.
When I took a bite, it was really juicy, tasty, well salted, well balanced, but the breading actually detached from the chicken. So I was eating ultimately the breading separately from the chicken.
Again, you can see the length there. That's like the whole length of my neck.
And it seemed like it was probably chicken thighs, maybe not chicken breast if I were to guess.
So if I had to guess the brand, I would guess maybe Perdue.
To me, this screams Tyson.
And if I were to guess the brand, I'd probably say Tyson just because of the looks of it.
Wow, it is Perdue.
Oh, Perdue.
Perdue.
I was wrong. Oh, whole grain
Should've known.
too. I didn't consider that part. White meat chicken. Yeah. All right.
Tyson Southern Style Chicken Breast Tenderloins.
All right. Visually, this is also a crunchy chicken. It is a lighter color than some of the others I've tasted, and I was expecting it to be a little bit darker in my ideal chicken, so this seems to be a little subpar on that. There are also some pepper flakes on it too when you look at it closely, which might add some flavor, give it a little bit of spiciness on your tongue, potentially.
This chicken tender, look at it. It's beautiful. I would almost say it's Chick-fil-A, but I know we didn't get Chick-fil-A this time.
It is chewy, but tasty, but it's not super flavorful.
My goodness, this is a beautiful color. Beautiful crispiness. This is what I expect when I go to Guthrie's.
When I took my first bite, I thought it was juicy, I thought it was well salted. I did taste the pepper.
I think they played a prank on us. I don't think that this was a frozen chicken tender.
Look is great. However, it is missing some crunch. It's got plenty of chicken. It's a little chewy.
One thing I also noticed as I was looking at it was that the texture kind of seemed to vary depending on what part of the chicken you were looking at. There's some parts where it seemed like it was really crunchy and crispy, and then the other parts where it was more bare. So it seems like depending on the chicken that you get, you could get a variance in the texture throughout the piece.
This is a real big boy. You don't find chickens this size these days, except at my farm. I'm impressed.
It's a little on the salty side. I'm gonna go with it's probably Publix brand.
I think it's a Tyson. Definitely Tyson.
I think it's probably Tyson since the last one wasn't Tyson. But I didn't initially think that.
What? Tyson!
Tyson.
You got me.
Tyson. Love you, man.
Better Goods gluten-free chicken tenders.
What are we tasting? I thought this was chicken nuggets.
Despite its small and unappealing size and color and texture, it actually reminded me a lot of, it was kind of dry and crumbly, which that reminded me of the time that we were fighting the fearsome dragon of Orthagia, who was put under the spell of the Dark Wizard Tanakh.
I have to say, as far as the look, it is the most disappointing. It looks maybe not real. Maybe the color of, I don't know if a dog ate chicken and then vomited up the chicken and then it was fried. Maybe that is what it looks like.
And then Orthagia blasted brimstone fire into the courtyard of Lockmar's castle, which he had previously stormed in pursuit of the treasure of Kenosha.
Could be a fish stick. I'm not sure. And the shape, I thought it looked like North Carolina. I don't know what it looks like to you. So maybe Dino Nuggets.
After eating, the texture is not very good. The flavor is very bland, and the chicken is, I am not sure it is chicken. It is some kind of paste that was shaped into the shape of a crocodile head. I don't know. And so overall, I think this is the worst chicken tender. If it is a chicken tender, I don't know. Maybe it is a trick.
Causing the amulet of a warrior priest Balosh Dorma to awaken him from his slumber of 1,000 years, just as the prophecy had foretold.
If I had to guess ingredients in this chicken tender, I would think there would be some glue and maybe some mashed up bone and marrow and tendons and maybe some chicken, maybe some other animal, or I don't know, maybe some plants. It's hard to say, but not very good. I would not recommend.
That was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me, was being on that mission. And this, I think, just went right along with it. I think not only that it reminded me of it, but also just that it was really bad. I'm not sure what brand this is. Something Healthy. I feel like it's like the cheap version of Something Healthy.
Doesn't taste that great. It's a little yellow. But I'm going to go with it's probably Purdue, because they like to shape their things the way that they shape them. Not a fan.
I was going to say Great Value, but the first one was Great Value, so I would have to guess maybe a Dollar Tree or Dollar General brand chicken.
Whole Foods 365 bargain tender.
Better
Goods, gluten-free
it's
chicken
not-
tenders.
I would
All
not recommend
right.
Better Goods.
You did not fool me.
Than this chicken tender.
Better Goods. Never heard of them. Don't need to hear from them again.
Yeah, so my favorites was number 2. It's the Applegate chicken breast tenders. And so I thought it was good flavor, a little bit of spice, and then also the breading had good crunch. I had the best texture and crunch of all the chicken tenders, and I enjoyed that very much. Number 4 was also very good, but number 2 I think was the best.
Winner of today's competition in my mind. Way to go, Applegate. Good job. It's the best.
So if I had to pick my favorite, it would be Great Value Chicken. This thing. Famous chicken fingers.
My favorite chicken tender, by far, Tyson. Yeah, crispy, juicy, flavorful. Big boy.
Applegate Naturals, by far my favorite. Perfect chicken tender, breading crispy, good ratio of meat to breading. Reminded me of a fun time in the where was I on that mission? I forget. The Lair of some dragon. But yeah, it was a good time and great chicken tender.
So my favorite is the Great Value. It really took me by surprise because the texture was not what I was expecting in the ideal chicken tender, but the flavor was on point. The breading was attached to the chicken. The meat seemed like it was pretty good quality. So I would give that a 5 out of 5 if I were ranking it. So yeah, I like their Great Value brand, and it really surprised me.